I'd like to welcome you once again to our weekly Power Animal. They have been readings. I know last week I mentioned there might be a change up on how we do things. So I'm going to try something different this week for this last Sunday in February. It's hard to believe it's already the end of the month. But in case you're new to this channel or you don't know me, I'm Reverend Dr. Elena Skyhawk. I am a doctor of metaphysical sciences and also a healer and shaman and the whole works. But I do a lot of work with power animals and birth totems and showing and teaching people how to find theirs through using the shamanic journeys. And this week we're going to try something a little different so that you get to know a little bit more about the animals themselves and how they can possibly show up in your life and how they work with us, because we all have animals that walk with us. We are all born with a power animal that comes with us, just like we have spirit guides and angels that come down here for guidance. And our main power animal usually is with us from life to life to life. And so they get to know us very well. We know them fairly well. And a lot of times they'll show up very early on as when we're young children, which is what happened with me. I was only like maybe 4 or 5 years old when this huge Kodiak bear kept showing up in my dreams. She was there as my protector. So she would show up in my dreams. Well, the family was camping, and one by one, she would kind of like take the family out and leave me by myself, screaming at the top of my lungs. My mom would come running into the bedroom, like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I would tell her, and she goes, it's just a dream. Go back to bed. A few nights later, she woke again, running into my bedroom, because again, I was screaming at the top of my lungs because this bear had just torn the family apart. But then I started noticing something. She always left me alone. And I was like, why is that? She's tearing them all apart, leaving me by myself, but she never touches me. And it wasn't until I was in my later 20s that I figured out why, because I found a spiritual teacher that kind of took me through the process of what was going on. But what was funny, not so much at the time, but it is now, is when I was about 6, my older brother was 7, my younger brother was 3. We were all on a camping trip. My mom and dad, the siblings, and my mom's mom. We went to Yellowstone. And we'd been there many times before and no problem, But this particular time, we had stopped at one of those scenic overlooks to look out over the park and stuff like that. And we had parked the car. It was a huge parking lot, a lot of people there. And we started walking toward the edge of the mountain, because it went straight down when you walk to the edge. There were a lot of people around, just enjoying their day. And then all of a sudden, people started screaming. Everybody started running for their cars. And we're still walking toward the outlook because we couldn't see what was going on. And of course, as little kids, we were so tiny, we couldn't see anyway. So we were like, what the heck? So finally, my mom asked one of the people that was running past us, why all the screaming? Why is everybody running? And she said, bear. So we kind of stopped because mom and dad did, so did we. And sure enough, the people parted, and this huge bear had come up, running up the side of the mountain and over it, and was just standing there looking at everybody and going back and forth with her head, like looking. And then she spotted us. and she started running right toward us. So, what did a self-respecting mother and father do? They turned tail and ran for the car, leaving the 3 little kids and grandma behind. My older brother ran. I was right behind him, and grandma was behind me, holding on to my little brother. And she's running so fast, he was literally like straight out behind her. And like I said, now when I think about it, it's funny. Back then, it wasn't so funny because this bear was kind of, in case you don't know, bears run really fast and they catch up to you really quick. By the time I got to the car, my mom and dad were safely ensconced in the front seat. My older brother had run around the car to the other side and gotten in. So I opened up the door. Grandma threw my younger brother in. She went flying in, and I was the last one in the car. And as I shut the door, the bear went whoop because it hit the car and then came down. And then she looked right in the window, right at me, and said, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Okay, I'm only 6, but bears don't talk." Or do they? You see, I wasn't getting the message from the dreams. I didn't understand what the bear was, why, because I kept asking why. Why is she harming everybody but me? Well, she was my protector. So Spirit made sure that even in the physical, the bear found the family, like in my dream, and came after us. But the only one she was concerned about was me. Now, since I learned what the bear is all about, whenever I need help, or I went into a situation that I knew could possibly be a little dangerous or abusive, I would always call on the bear. My bear happens to be a huge Kodiak bear, and she's just called Mama Bear. That's what her name is. There is no fancy name. It's just like when I need help, I call on Mama Bear to come and help me and protect me, to get me through an emotionally charged situation, something that's very stressful or abusive. Not so much anymore, but as a kid, there was a lot of it. So my question to you is, find your main power animal, and I can help you do that. It's a fairly quick process to be able to do a shamanic journey into the lower world and find out who your power animal is, your main power animal. Find out what they're here to help you with. Find out how long they've been with you. Yes, they've been with you since birth in this lifetime. But what are they here to help you with? Are they here to help you learn a lesson, teach a lesson? Are they here for protection? Find out what that animal is here to teach you, to show you, to help you with. And then really make that connection very strong so that you honor them. You give them gratitude for whatever. If it's protection, you give them gratitude every night when you go to bed as you thank your guides and angels for protecting you. You also thank your power animal for walking the path with you. And there's many more bear stories I've had besides that one. But she does, and I'll tell you some more later on. But today we just want to start getting you comfortable with finding out who your power animal is, learn how to connect with them, listen to their message. If they show up in the dream time, are you paying attention to what they're showing you, what they're telling you? And if you've mastered lucid dreaming, you can actually, if you know you're dreaming and you're like, oh my God, there is a mountain lion standing there. Wonder why? That's like the 3rd time this week I've seen him in a dream. You can ask them anything. when you're consciously aware that you're dreaming, you ask them, what are you here to help me with? And then send them gratitude, send them love, and let them know that you acknowledge them, that you know they're there to help you. If at all possible, don't be chased by them in real life because it is kind of scary, especially as a 6-year-old. But she showed up in the wild to make sure I really was okay. And you know what? I was. And it also helped strengthen my ability to communicate with them. Because I didn't say anything out loud to her when I heard her talk, but in my mind, I reached out to her and I said, you can talk? And she said, yes. And you can hear me. So I've developed that intuition, that talking with the animals, because they have so much to share with us if we will only let them. So this week, I want you to tap in and find out who your main power animal is. Introduce yourself to them. They know who you are, but still, it's nice to introduce yourself, acknowledge that you know who they are, that they're there, and then ask them, why are you here? What am I to learn from you? What can I do for you? And see where the conversation takes you. You might be surprised. And once again, I just want to let you know, I'm still working on the program and the book, but I am actually making a very full transformational workbook with exercises, the pictures, keywords, everything about the power animals. And I will let you know as soon as it is finished. But for now, have a wonderful Sunday and a great rest of your week. Bye for now.